Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is June 6, the year 2021. Um, Yesterday was June 5th. June 5th and June 6th are known to Egypt, Syria, and Jordan as the 2 days of the Great Defeat. In 1967, under the leadership of President Nasser, the president of Egypt, these three countries agreed to have a fight with Israel, to overwhelm the Israeli army from three directions, so that they're practically like Israel was fighting three wars simultaneously. That's very hard to do. So they wanted to surprise the Israeli forces from three different directions. Practically, the idea back then is to push them, to drown them in the sea. I'm mentioning this because it has something to do with the recent war in Gaza between the Palestinian and the Israelis. There is a Quranic verse I would like to bring it, because this is what's fueling problems like this. It is Quran chapter 9 verse 14. I must say, I'm going to leave a link from Google Translate to three words in particular, and the reason is Google translation, even though it's not really accurate 100%, but one thing you can depend on: Google does not have emotion. Google gives you the best translation on top, and then the lesser until you go the very bottom. Okay, so I'm going to read how it is translated in English in the English translation. There are a few translations, but all of them actually. You see, when you are translating something, if you are ashamed of, or you don't want to emphasize something, you can choose different words that it will convey similar meaning. And in terms of honesty, you can say it's an honest translation. So if there's something ugly, you can translate in a way to make it mild, so the person who is reading in translation does not get it really. Okay, so it says, fight them, these who unbeliever, those who do not believe in Islam and Muhammad, fight them. I took the Arabic word because I know the culture, I know the Muslim culture, and I know yes, you can use that word, fight them, but that's not what it says really. According to the culture, this is fight them with the intention of killing them. This is like, for example, if you are going, you have an enemy and you get yourself ready with your guns, your shotguns, your pistols, your long range guns, and your tanks. You are not going to have a cup of tea with that person or with this group of people. You are going to destroy them. Okay? So fight them with the intention of using all the military might that you have to destroy them. And I took that word, I put it in Google, and you can read it for yourself. You can look for some other translation too. Okay. Allah will punish them by your hands. The word punish here, because sometimes you punish your kids, it's used, but actually I put that in because it is not the right word here. Punishment, we all punished our kids if they did something wrong. Okay? That does not mean you seek the destruction of your children. No, you are correcting them. Okay? Allah will punish them. When I put that word in Google, I know that translation, but I got it from Google, and I'm going to leave the link. It is torture them. Torture them. Cut the torture in Islam, to torture somebody, an enemy, is you cut the hand and the opposite foot, and you can crucify them. That's torture. So God is using the hands of the Muslim to torture people like this, and actually leave them to die of thirst in the desert. That's the proper torture. Okay? So God will torture them, and He will make you victorious over them. I'm sorry, I'm using my own translation. It's okay. I'm going to leave the link. You can read the translation. God will make you victorious over them, and this is the very sensitive part. God will heal the hearts. And I'm sure you know, it's not the heart that it pumps the blood in the body. The heart is the mind and the soul and the essence of a human being. God will heal the hearts of the believers. When we speak of healing, why do people go to the hospital sometimes or go to see a doctor? Because you have some problem, physical problem. Maybe you cut yourself, maybe you broke a bone, maybe you're sick with maybe you caught corona. So you go to the doctor and you seek medical advice, and the doctor helps you to heal. But when the emotion, when the essence of person is sick, and the mean to heal that sickness is through cutting the hands and the legs, the opposite side. If you cut the right hand, you cut the left foot, okay, and you poke the eyes with hot nails, and you crucify the people, and you leave them to die of thirst in the desert. That was the method of torture that was used by the believers. It's written. Okay? I don't give details because very much I'm aware that YouTube is looking for anything to stop my channel. So I'm talking almost in codes so that they don't find something. Already they sent me a few messages and they took off some videos. I'm not going to fight them. So anyway, it is what it is. We have to talk in codes now because there are some idiots who are trying to censor our speech. Why? Because they know any voice to speak up is danger. It will expose them. And they team up with the Muslims because the Muslims is a dictatorship. BLM, dictatorship. leaders want to control everybody, and whoever uh, goes against them has to be punished. The big tech companies are teaming up with them. Okay? So we have to talk in codes now, unfortunately. Freedom of speech looks like it's out of the window now, and even the right of carrying or of having firearms, it looks like they are working so hard to get rid of that, because once we are we have nothing to protect ourselves with, they can do whatever they please with us. So anyway, I chose this subject, the war in Gaza, and I have a question now, and I would like for anybody to tell me, has your hearts, the believers who believe in Islam and Muhammad for 1400 years, you have been fighting, has your hearts been healed? Okay, especially fighting the Jews. That became like a very hot topic since 1948. There was the war of 1948, with the intention of pushing the Israelis into the sea around them and get rid of them all. Okay, I don't want to talk about that, but that was with the intention, with the arrangement of Hajj Amin Hosseini, the Mufti of Palestine at this time, who was living in Germany as an advisor to Hitler. I don't talk about this different subject, but he was the one who gave Hitler the idea of mass murder, of killing the Jews, all of them, all the Jews. He was the one who gave this idea to Hitler. And that hate is since, well, it's way before that. It's because such verses, it shows us clearly there are sick hearts, sick minds, sick souls seeking healing. But the method of healing that they are using, it actually generates more sickness. And the evidence of that you guys been killing many people and killing one another, Sunni killing Shiite killing Sunni, and both of you killing the Baha'u'llah, the Ahmadiyya, the Alawiyya, you're all killing each other. Has your hearts, or as your chest, as it's written in Arabic, has it been healed yet? Or are you still sick? I also brought this subject about because I was one Muslim, he was thinking that he was challenging me. It's okay to challenge, but at least I hope that person will think. And that person was telling me it can't be, Islam cannot be bad, because there are almost 2 billion people following it. Yes, unfortunately, yes, there are. So his argument was, in these 2 billion, there are doctors, lawyers, teachers, engineers. They cannot all be stupid. I'm not saying they are stupid. They are not. But unfortunately, there is kind of like invisible red line in the head and the mind of the Muslim. An invisible red line. You can tell a Muslim, make it an open conversation. What if you hear about a man in America who got married to a 6 years old child and consummated his marriage with that child when she is 9, he will tell you, this is terrible. This is disgusting. This is sick. And before he finishes, tell him, what do you think that your boss who established that book that you follow did that? He will take a step back and start to defend and fight and justify, and he's a doctor, lawyer, engineer, and so on and so forth. So the faculty of reasoning disappears to the Muslim when he is faced with that situation that his boss 1400 years ago committed this atrocity of rape, of pedophilia, of murder, assassination. It's so hard for that person to digest all that at once. So he starts to fight. It's like a reflex. He doesn't say, okay, let me examine that. If he takes a step back, he or she takes a step back and say, let me examine that. Let me find if what you are talking about is true. No, it's just, let me live in that illusion that I will go to heaven with the Prophet of Allah. The great defeat in 1967 and then 1973, which we say we were victorious. Probably Egypt was victorious because somehow negotiated to reclaim the Sinai desert back. But Syria and Jordan lost. They lost. They could have actually joined and get their land back and sign an agreement not to fight again, not to have that fantasy, let's drown the Israeli or drown a particular race or particular group of people, destroy them. Get rid of this idea. They could have done that. And even though Egypt signed that treaty with Israel, that does not mean 100% that they are actually in total agreement. This has to be we have to deprogram, unlearn the poison that we have learned. We have to unlearn that. So the Muslim person since birth or before birth is fed this poison. This first has to stop. That's why I was happy, even though many people say about the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, he was not clear and things can be interpreted in many different ways and there's no change. I agree with all that. But the fact that he's talking about these things, about changes, it means he is aware of the danger of these people and he cannot make a sharp turn. He will turn alone. It has to be gradual. It might take 2 or 3 generations because the sickness have gone deep in the bone marrow. We have to take that. If you get rid of that bone marrow, the person will die. So it's very dangerous. You have to actually detoxify the mind and the heart and the bone marrow step by step. We have to deprogram these people from that poison that it filled up their hearts and minds and made them, the only thing that it heals their hearts is to see those who don't agree with them be tortured in a very graphic way and go to hell and boil in hell forever. That is they have been doing that for 1400 years, and there is no changes. The heart did not heal yet. That means something, it's either your heart is very, very sick and will never heal, or the method or the medicine that you are using to kill and torture and to do all that is not helping your heart to heal. So my question to you at the end, has your hearts been healed? We thank you. We hope to hear from you.